I have to have this conversation. I have to put this out there. I have to talk to you about this. Since the election, I have been talking about the election, okay? I probably wouldn't even really be talking about it if what happened didn't happen. And I believe, and so do many others all over the world, that something happened. Obviously, time will tell. We'll see over the next few weeks, I guess. Yeah. But I know that some people were following me, were supporting me, were becoming friends with me, even subscribers, followers, before the election. And you're probably thinking, okay, when is she going to stop talking about this and go back to talking about grief and dreams and intuition? I just want you to know, I'm never going to stop talking about this, because this is very important. And this is totally, everything that I talk about is about following our intuition and being kind to each other and being true to ourselves. And so there's just so many ways I could approach this. I'm trying to even figure out how to word this, but number one, I should have a flow chart behind me, and I could be like that one girl that blew up doing the flow chart for Wicked. If you haven't seen her, she's great. Look it up. Anyways, so let me move my mic closer. I'm sorry. Okay. So the thing is that my intuition is screaming at me to be a voice in this situation, because this is my normal. This is how I am with my friends, with my family. This is how we're talking. This is my reality. This isn't a side thing to me. I have gay friends. I have immigrant friends. I have people on Medicaid. I have people on Medicare. I have, you name it, transgender friends. Pretty much the entire gamut of everybody that he talked horribly about, I am friends with and know intimately. Not just I knew a guy who knew a guy. I literally am close friends with people that are directly affected by all the things that he said, the hate that he spewed out, and the things that he says he wants to do. Whether he can do them or not is a separate conversation. But the fact that he even said that, and that right now it looks like, actually technically the majority of the popular vote is now in Kamala's category. Kamala has won the popular vote at this point. And that's just by counting the mail-in ballots. That's not even counting what will probably come out soon, which was probably some kind of interference. But, and I think that number is way, way higher. But based on what is known right now, because that's just my intuition, that's not a fact. This is just my silly little intuition. But with the mail-in ballots, she has now surpassed him in popular vote. Okay. So anyways, it's made a lot of us feel very hurt and confused about what we didn't think this was what America was. We thought, sure, there's always been people on the fringe who have hostile or extreme views about anything that's progressive. They see it as completely nuts. The woke agenda, which is crazy. What's the opposite of woke is asleep. I don't know. But I get it. Sometimes some of the stuff is just so, it really pushes a lot of people maybe further than what they're ready for, what they're comfortable with. But the answer to that can't possibly be swinging all the way to the other side and being shut it down, shut it all down, let's go backwards. That doesn't make any sense. Figure out where your argument is, work at it from that point of view. But, we're never going back to whatever it was before. And you wouldn't want that anyways. Which brings me to my next point. I brought up transgender. I brought up gay, married gay, immigrants, and so many other groups of people. The big one that I didn't bring up is women. Hi. We were not able to have our own checking account. We were not able to go get our own apartment. If we want to just get an apartment. So if you're in an abusive relationship, or you're in a relationship that is awful, there was a time where you really couldn't do much about that. If it weren't for the people like me, and I'm not even as outspoken as many people, but thank God for the people that were willing to go out there, to march, to fight, to be beaten up, to be killed, to be ridiculed, to have their lives destroyed, have their family threatened, and everything else that they went through, just so women could vote, just so women could have a checking account. Can you imagine? You couldn't even have a bank account in your name. That's crazy to me. And it should be crazy to you. And so to see these women on social media being so hostile and hostilely defending the side that doesn't care about your rights, doesn't even want you to have rights. And you're hate filled towards the people that are fighting just to have a place at the table that you yourself got because of the type of people that fought for you to have that place at the table, is completely backwards. This whole thing has gotten so turned inside out. And I mean, research some stuff about, some stuff that may be happening from another country that doesn't really like us, that was trying to divide us from the inside. And I think they've achieved that for the last 20 to 30 years, a plan to get us to, with misinformation, to get us to fight each other. So that we started fighting against what even made sense. And we ripped apart what made America so great, the democracy, the fact that we vote. That's amazing. The voting system is messed up right now. We shouldn't have everything just be on the computers. As you can see, a lot of them they're not supposed to be connected to the internet, but they upload information, they download updated software, so they go on the internet sometimes. There's room for problems there and other problems. Like I just found out some counties or states, I'm not sure, don't even do paper ballots. So they don't even have a backup. It's all electronic only, which scares the what out of me, because it's like, how would you double check and make sure what people voted for is actually what is, you need to be able to double check. And also being able to do a recount, which I don't really think that's what's even going to happen at this point. I think there's something bigger going on. But if we were to do a recount, that is normal. As long as I've been voting, that happens on both sides. There's, it's okay. If there's something that seems a little bit shady, there were bomb threats. There were, what else? Burning ballots being thrown away by mailmen. What in the world? There were so many weird things that happened. And if you're watching this video and something weird happened in your state or your county, can you put it in the comments so people who say, no, there wasn't, this constant doubting reality, that this gaslighting is insane and it needs to stop. And one thing that I'm good at is holding on to reality, because I've been through so much. And also I've always had a good visual take on things. And that's why I like to do film. That's why I like to write stories. I like the visual of things, and I can lock on to something and hold on to it. And I am holding on to the energy that I know to be true with all this gaslighting and all this hate and all this fighting. And so anyways, I just went on that whole side note to just say that this is just a plea to the people, not a plea, but a heartfelt message, I guess, to anyone hearing this that is angry at people talking about the election. Still, it's not over yet, first of all. It's not over yet. And even if the orange one goes into office, we need to keep talking. Just talk. She just put a video up that really inspired me to be strong. And, we need more than ever to keep talking. This is actually a reason to keep talking. If people don't understand what's really going on and how important this is, that we don't go backwards. So I just urge you, if you have been a follower of mine or a friend that I've made online here, before you, just write me off, think about, I've always encouraged us to follow our intuition and to respect ourselves and respect others. All of those people that are afraid right now are the very people that are drawn to my lives, that come to my lives every night. I have all those categories are in my lives. So why would I not talk about something that we're all feeling? We're all disappointed. We're all afraid. We're all nervous. We're all feeling like our own fellow Americans have betrayed us and that they hate us and they want us to go away. Do you understand what I'm saying? It is in line with what I've always talked about. But if you still feel look, I don't want you to talk about politics, well, then you should probably go. There's probably someone else you should follow, because I'm not going to stop talking about it, you guys. I'm not going to stop talking about it. This is too important. This is an historical time. We're going to look back on this time and be like, oh my God, you guys lived through that? Yeah. So I'm going to be one of the voices that holds on to the reality of what is right and what is real and what should be talked about, because I do care, and I care about you too.